Right guys, I've got something very important to show you. This is after 24 hours, right? There's 100 grams of filtered water, 100 grams of whole meal, high protein rich flour, 25 grams of rye flour. This has been left now for about 36 hours. The first 24 hours, you mix it all, cover it in this jar, what you see, like that. The first 24 hours, you just mix it well, cover it up, mark your day, and keep an eye on your temperature, or get a control box like this. There's a temperature control. Get something like that, and it should, and it does, and that's the thing, without taking the bleach cover top there, cloth off the top. It should smell vinegary. Now, the first 24 hours, I stirred it, give it a good combined everything, and just left it in the box for 24 hours in there, between a temperature of 24 to 27 Celsius. I think 27 Celsius is about 80.6 Fahrenheit, and 24 Celsius is around 70 Fahrenheit, but that's where you want to try and get this. Once you get the box warmed up, I think it comes with a default setting on it, and that you can get these on Amazon on there. But I played around with it a bit and got it out good. As you can see now, a blue light comes on. If I move it, this blue light here in the top right corner comes on when it goes below the 24 Celsius, and it goes off when it gets up to the 27 Celsius. But as you can see now, it's going to lose a bit of temperature now, obviously, but I'll put a little rack in there as well, just to get the jar off of that. There's a heat mat at the bottom, just to get the jar off of the base. I wasn't too happy with it sitting on that mat, so I lifted it a bit, about a centimetre, and yeah, it's doing fine. It's doing the job. It's doing it brilliant. So yeah, as you can see, it's sitting at now 70. It's just lighting up there, 76, dropping obviously now. But another reason why I'm showing this is 36 hours in now. Now, when it gets to 48 hours, I will be feeding it, taking 100 grams out, leaving 100 grams in there, taking the rest out, discarding it, and then feeding it again with 100 grams water, filtered, 100 grams wholemeal flour, and then leave it for as you can see, if I can do this on the camera. As you can see, this goes round in your days as well. So what I'll do tonight, about 10 tonight, when I come in from work and that, I will then put this up to the next 24 hours. You slide it, it's just a band, and if the level goes up, you can also slide this band that's going across up, so you can keep track of your last fed on. See, so I'm due to feed it, as you can see this, around about after 8 p.m, between there somewhere, or maybe 10. It doesn't, just keep an eye on it, and but it's doing. After the 24 hours, all I did, the first 24 hours, when you do what I explained, you just stir it and then put it back in the box for another 24 hours. After 48 hours, then you start feeding. And this is similar. This is the result you should get. I'm just about to reveal now to you. If we take this bleach cloth off, you've got like a vinegary top. And as now what's happened is everything's sunk to the bottom. So maybe, like this is not too sure, I'll do a bit of research, maybe I can stir that again. I think it wouldn't hurt to give that a little stir again. But there's loads of things going on there. He's definitely a living... But I'll do a bit of research. I'm not sure, unless any guys out there know whether I should stir that now again or leave it on the top. I'm not sure, but it doesn't mention the instructions, little instruction leaflet I got. It doesn't mention about doing anything like that, stirring it again. I've got this with it. This is with the... Just bear with me. This is with the... This came with the starter jar kit on Amazon. Now the procedure it says in here, although people do slightly different things, that's all the contents you get with the jar kit. It's on Amazon. And then turning the page, see how to make your own sourdough starter. There's your contents, the stuff you will need. Scales are important. Filtered water, important. Do not use tap water. The chloride or the, I can't remember the name of the other one, but it won't work. Zero your scales. Add 100 grams of tap water, 100 grams of whole wheat flour to your jar and stir well to combine. Cover with the breathable using the feeding date band to mark the mixture, starting level and feeding day and time. Set out of the way that stays somewhat constant temperature around 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Mine goes up to near 80 sometimes, but it's not constant. So as long as it's not, if it's higher, as long as it's not constant, you should be okay. Because it will go lower and higher anyway. Heat doesn't work like that. It's a bit like a boat on the water. When you put the brakes on, put it in reverse, it doesn't stop straight away. Yeah, and then as you see day 2, you'll see small bubbles. After 24 hours, there was loads of them. It smells sour or rotten, it does now. This indicates fermentation, which it's doing. Stir, cover with the breathable cover. Rest the starter for another 24 hours. Now tonight, at 10 o'clock tonight, today is Monday, Monday night, tonight, around 9-10 o'clock, that will be 24 hours. And then day 3, this is what I was explaining, retain 100 grams of the starter and discard remaining starter. Add 100 grams of tap water, 100 grams of whole wheat flour, and incorporate well with the mixture left in the jar. Stir and mix well. Cover with the cloth and use the feeding day tracker band to mark the mixture, starting level and the feeding day and time. Day 4. Retain 100 grams of the starter and discard remaining starter. Add 100 grams of tap water, 100 grams of whole wheat. See, it's a procedure, consistent procedure, very important. It's an active living. You look after it. It's live. It's your friend for life. If you know what, you can store it in the fridge once it's active, and feed it. Right, flour incorporate well with the mixture left in the jar. Stir and mix well. Cover with the cloth and use the feeding day tracker band to mark the mixture, starting level and the feeding day and time. It's consistency. It's reminding you every day what to do from start for 7 days. Retain 100 grams of starter and discard remaining starter. 100 grams of water, 100 grams of whole wheat flour, and incorporate well with the mixture left in the jar. Stir and mix well. Cover with a cloth and use the feeding day tracker band to mark the mixture, starting level and the feeding day and time. If you see, you start to get the procedure now. Right, day 6, again, retain 100 grams of starter and discard remaining starter. Add 100 grams of tap water, 100 grams of wholemeal flour, and incorporate well with the mixture left in the jar. Stir and mix well. Cover with the cloth, bleach cloth, and use the feeding. Excuse me, my battery's getting a bit low. Use the, where do we get? Feeding day tracker band to mark the mixture, starting level, and the feeding day and time. Day 7, by now your starter should have doubled in size. You should see plenty of bubbles, both large and small. The texture will be spongy, fluffy, and similar to roasted marshmallows. It should smell pleasant. If these conditions are met, your starter is now active and ready to use. How do I know when a sourdough starter is ready to use? Bulk growth to about double the size, which is what you raise that band for. Here, you raise this each time you feed it, and it's going up. You climb up, you go up that. Here, last fed on, and your temperature. It's all there for you. More bubble activity, spongy and fluffy texture, pleasant odour. So there you go, folks. That's what it's all about. I hope I explain this to the best I can. This little notebook certainly helps, but there is other methods as well of doing it, and there's these, some people discard what you throw out and discard it. Some people, I'm looking into all that, keep it, because you can use it for other ingredients and making other things. But I think that's towards the end of when you start, the end of this cycle that we've just explained, and the discarded stuff you can use it. But I've got to do I'm a bit confused with that at the moment. I've got to do a bit of research for that. But I definitely wouldn't recommend any early, like day 1, 2, maybe 3, using that discard. And that, because it's full of loads of micro, it's called something, I can't remember, but there's a lot going on in there. There's loads of activity going on in there. And yeah, so I'm not sure whether I should give that a little stir again. I don't think it'll hurt. And then, because it's been 12 hours, and then I don't think it'll do it any harm at all, really. I'm not too sure. I'm going to look it up because I know you do get that liquid on the top like that. I've got to go back to the, what I say, go back to the books because my bird's made a mess, a bit of a mess on the floor. He needs, that's a couple of days. He has a lot of fun, but he's a lovely looking conure. Very happy. And he does get a bit messy sometimes, but he's great, aren't you, my friend? Hey, you're great, aren't you? Hey, yeah, you're lovely. He's great. And anyway, it's not about my Toby. It's about this. Yeah. So yeah, I hope that helps, folks. But I am new to this, a novice, but I'm enjoying it. I find it quite amusing and fascinating, especially what goes on in here. And if you get this right, that is one of your best friends for life, if you get it right. But it is important that I got to look into a bit more that your room temperature is good as well. I mean, this is dropping quite rapid now, so I'm going to get what I need to get done. And yeah, I hope this helps, folks. But I'm thinking about, I might start a YouTube channel with this, but if there's anybody out there on how to start doing that on YouTube and all that, I'd very much appreciate some feedback and help on that. And it's about all us guys getting together that know about this and helping each other at the end of the day. And but I'm finding this quite exciting and enjoyable, and slowly moving forward and making my own successful loaves of bread. Okay, guys, some information here, very important. Starter guide from Sough Dough.